Kurtz. How about a round of applause for you guys for being here? Let's hear for you for showing up on the coldest night of the fucking century.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I walked outside, my nuts went all the way up on my stomach. I'd show you, but you're too far away to see anything. Can everybody see me?
Yeah.
A jacket? Yeah. Woman last week said from the side I look like a baked potato with shoes.
Oh.
Yeah, my mom's a bitch. But I hear she's well worth the money, and that's what's important. So I want to get started by finding out about you guys. I want you to know when you go to a club, usually the lights are blinding and the performers cannot see the audience. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do comedy, so I want to be able to hear you if you laugh. So it's important we give this guy a round of applause for going to the bathroom. Thank you.
Let it go, boys! Let it go!
Very nice. Little red spot down there. Right by your knee. You a white guy? Some white guys have big dicks. Right, not me. Mine's only 3 inches. Most women don't like it that thick. So what I want to do, I want to get started by finding out about you guys. I want to ask you a couple simple questions. If your answer is yes, what I want you to do, if your answer is yes, I want you to go, "Ee-haw!" All right, it sounds very popular in the Deep South. So, count of 3, go "ee-haw." Ready? 1, 2, 3. Ee-haw! Very good. All right, now remember your answer is "ee-haw" if it's yes, all right? First question, how many people are seeing me tonight for the first time? Okay. How many people have never seen me before? Yeah, confuse some people. How many people are here tonight? Yeah! Good. How many don't know where you are? Yeah! How many just don't give a shit? Yeah! There we go. Now I know what I'm working with. How many people in the past week have had sex? Yeah! That's kind of depressing. It was just 2 guys sitting together. Okay. It's just the English guy in his cardboard cutout. That's it. You didn't see the little hole with the flap in the back. He likes having sex with himself, but some of us, that's all we can do. All right, you guys seem like a good group. Let me introduce myself. First of all, my name is Perry Kurtz. That's Perry as in Perry Como. Some of you may remember him. Perry Farrell, very good. Also now there is Perry Ellis, the clothing designer. And of course...
You!
Nice try though. I'd like to ask this man to go pee right now. Go ahead, we'll wait for you.
Flush the toilet. You guys don't flush.
Are we really waiting?
Can we turn on the cameras in there?
No.
No, we're gonna need a long lens to see that one. So as I said, my name is Perry. Now there is Katy Perry. Only she's a woman. I'm a man. Don't make me prove that. I proved it last week. She looked down and said, "Oh, you're Jewish." That was a dick joke. Dick jokes are very popular in comedy. You can always tell a dick joke because they stick out in the comics act. And we slip them in every chance we can. And when it comes to dick jokes, people eat them right up. I guess you guys aren't hungry. How about a round of applause for your bartenders? They're back there. They get and one of them is pregnant. I think that's great, and it's not my baby. I'm not having any more kids. So I just celebrated my birthday. February 5th, I turned 71.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I turned 71, and I don't feel it at all. I can still do this. No reason to, but I can, so I do. And I have all my hair.
Yeah.
And lots of it. I have a lot of younger guys come up to me and say, "How do you keep your hair?" I go, "I steal it from you while you're sleeping, you stupid bitch."
He's the fucking tooth fairy.
But I'm happy to be alive. I have had a bad year and a half. On July 20th of 2020, I went in because I had a lump on my hip the size of a baseball. And they cut it open and they found a tumor growing out of the tendon that connects the leg to the hip bone. Well, they cut it off, and I'm laying there barely conscious on the bed, and the doctor brings it in a little glass bottle. He brings this tumor in, and it looked just like my little finger. It's got 2 bends in it, it's the same color and everything. Didn't have a fingernail, but it looked just like it. And I reached for it. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I want that." He said, "Why?" I said, "I made that. It belongs to me." He said, "No, that's got to go down to pathology. We have to find out what's going on." So they called me up a couple days later, and he said, "Well, Mr. Kurtz, got bad news for you. You have kidney cancer." So I started getting treatment for that. I was getting radiation treatment out of Olive View Hospital. Anybody know of Olive View?
It's the worst.
Okay, if you don't know, don't go. All right, that's all I can say. It's horrible, but they were very nice to me after going like for about 2 months. I'd walk in and they'd go, "The comedian's here!" I didn't have to do anything but show up, and they were laughing. So I was getting radiation 2-3 times a week, but I was out every night. Didn't debilitate me, didn't lose any of my hair, and then after 5 months, they didn't call me anymore. They just stopped. 2 months later, I get a call from my doctor. He said, "Barry, this is Dr. David." I said, "Hey, Doc, what's up?" He said, "Listen, the hospital has not had you in there in 2 months." I said, "I know." I called them, and they said they figured if you needed them, you would have called them. I said, "What, like the tumor's going to pick up my cell phone and dial a number?" They said, "Well, no, they just figured you'd be all right." Also, they figured, ready, you wouldn't remember because you're old. He sued those bastards for $74,000. I didn't get any of it. It went to my next treatment because now the cancer had moved into my liver. Now I had liver cancer. I was going up to Oxnard for treatment. During this time, I had 2 heart attacks. And 2 days after each heart attack, I was out in parking lots doing stand-up comedy on, "Well, I just had a heart attack, but fuck it, I'm here with you losers." No memory of ever getting in my car or going home. Plus, I got sepsis, which is a blood disease because they didn't sew me up right when they cut the tumor out. So I had 8 blood transfusions. Plus, I had my hip replaced.
Me too.
Really?
Yeah.
What'd you do with yours?
I don't know.
Good answer.
It was no good.
Yeah, I had both my hips replaced. All this went on during this time. And then they called me up a little before Christmas, a couple weeks before Christmas, and told me I had leukemia. All this in a year and a half. And I beat everything. I beat the leukemia in 5 weeks. I'm actually in a medical textbook, as they said, a freak of nature. But you knew that by looking. So all this happened to me in a year and a half. All this illness. Just unhealthy all the way through, and I survived it. And after all this, I have one question. All this has happened to me, and I can't get no pussy? WTF, as they say. Yeah, no, I don't care. I'm all right. Because, see, I've been married now for 31 years in a row to the same woman consecutively. But we've been separated for 11 years. So I've been happy for 11 years. But when I met her online in 1990, I think. Yeah, 1990. I had just moved down here from San Francisco. No, it's 89. I just moved down here from San Francisco. See, I'm originally from Philadelphia. Has anybody ever heard of Philadelphia? Okay, I just want to make sure you guys are still there. Philly is one of the original cities, but it's also considered advanced, forward-thinking. All this time, they still haven't fixed the Liberty Bell. They can't put some duct tape over that damn thing? And my mother's back there. My mother is 91 years old, and she's in a nursing home. I was out there in 2019, and 2 weeks after I left town, she tripped and fell on her face and cracked her cheek and drove it into her mouth. Pretty bad. Concussion, hasn't walked in 2.5 years. And I think she's got dementia. I think so, because when I call her up, she does the same thing. Who is this? It's Perry. Perry, I have a son named Perry. Yeah, Mom, I'm your son. This is Perry. Oh, okay. Who's this? This is Perry. Is Perry there? No, Mom, I am Perry. I have 2 sons named Perry? So I went to see her last summer in the nursing home. And all she does is lay around because she can't walk. She's on a little platform in this chair and she just lays there and it's got these hooks on the end. And when it's time to go to bed, they lift it up, a hoist comes over, lifts her up and they drop her in the bed. So I said to her, well, this is a nice place you got here. She goes, well, I pay the rent. Do I own this fucking shithole? So my mom's cool. But she also told me that she has a boyfriend. My mother's 91 years old. She's in a nursing home, and she has a boyfriend. Yeah, I give her credit too, but I said, what do you mean a boyfriend? She said, well, his name's Maurice, and he rolls up to my bed in his wheelchair, and he turns so that his feet are near my feet, and his left arm is against my right arm. I go, yeah. Well, he slides his left arm underneath the blankets, and I go, what happens then? And she goes, well, let's just say I'm glad he cuts his nails really short. Yeah! My mom is 91 years old and she's getting fingered. Yeah! Yep, but she's cool. I love her. She's the best. And hopefully I'll get out there this summer and see her if she's still around. But yeah, I met this woman when I moved out here. I moved to San Francisco in '79. One of my best friends was a guy named Robin Williams. You may remember Robin. We used to do improv together hundreds of hours. And when I first got there, my first paying job was the MC and manager of the only male strip show for women in San Francisco. And this is before AIDS. At that time, there was 9 women for every straight man. If you didn't dress nicely, women would grab you right off the street. Let's go! They didn't even ask. And so I was the manager of this club, and I would stand on a little platform on the far end of the room, and I was up there talking dirty to the ladies. 187 seats, would fill up 3 times a night. Just women, all from out of town. And one night someone yelled, well, we want you to strip. I said, all right, I'll do it, but you're gonna laugh. And the lady says, we kind of figured that. So I got up and I did a parody of a strip routine. I went, and then I acted like I got caught in my zipper. And then I pulled my pants down. I had on 9 pairs of underwear on top of each other. Stripes, polka dot blue, one with an orange light in it. And then I'm running around stage with my pants around my ankles. And when I would go out to the audience, I had an oversized tuxedo shirt on. And I would go up to the women, I would put my shirt over their heads so nobody could see what was going on. And they did everything you could possibly imagine under my shirt. It was the best. So I did that for 4 years, made a lot of money, and then AIDS came out in '73. They gave it a name. Before that, it was called the monkey disease. Anybody remember when it was that? No, you're all too fucking young. Except that bitch in the back. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say in the back, you're on the side. So I quit working at the strip club and decided I was going to go on the road. So I started traveling, worked all over the South. Love the South, especially because the way the people talk. You ever hear people down in Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi? They'll talk like this. They don't say hello, they go, hi, how are you? What's up? They enjoy talking, and they're friendly, and the women were so nice. And then I moved down here because a friend of mine, a guy named Milton Burrow, I don't know if you've ever heard of Milton, he was my mentor. I met him having dinner with Bill Cosby in '83. Actually sitting there at a restaurant with Bill, and he had a beautiful blonde actress with him, and she got up to go to the bathroom, and sure enough, while she's in the bathroom, he reaches over, puts his hand over her drink, and goes like this, and drops something in there. She comes out, takes a drink. 20 minutes later, she falls asleep at the table. He gets up, goes over to the dial phone, because that's how old this is, and he dials a number. A limousine pulls up. 3 guys get out, and they pick her up, and they're carrying her upright, and they're waving her arms around like she's awake, and they're going, "Put me down! Put me down!" So it looks like they're carrying an awake woman, and they put her in the limo, and they drive away, and all of a sudden, Rodney Dangerfield sits down. So I got to know Rodney was working, and then I met Milton Burrow, and he was flying me down here to work at the Friars Club, which was the best. I was working at the Friars Club one night, and I got off stage, and there's Johnny Carson, Phyllis Diller, and Shecky Green, who was one of the old-time comedians, but he's 6'6". And Johnny walks up and goes, "Hey kid, I saw your stuff. You're very funny, and you're likable. That's unusual." And Phyllis Diller, who was one of the first female comedians, comes over, hugs me, and grabs my face, and kisses me hard on the lips for 3 seconds. And I know it was 3 seconds because I heard myself go, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. And when she finally lets go of me, her wild blonde wig falls off. And I say, "You dropped your wig." She goes, "Fuck it, I got 1,000,000 of them." Shecky Green looks down at me and goes, "You look normal height on stage." "Oh, thank you." All of a sudden I get a tap on the shoulder, I turn around, little bald fat guy takes my hand, hits my face, says, "Hey, I saw your stuff, kid. Nice try. Don Rickles." Yep. And right after that happens, Carson walks over and says, "Hey, if Rickles heckled you, you have a future." So I've worked all over the country. I've been on the Tonight Show and the Late Late Show and national conventions and stuff like that. And now I'm here, so my career is officially over as of tonight. I love this place. I love it because it's so warm and nice, and there's lights everywhere. There's something to look at no matter where you go. You know, it's how old is this room? Like 700 years old? 1977. Jesus Christ. 76. We were close. All right, it was in the 70s. But it's great. There's lights everywhere. We got that in ice over there, and this. In case you don't need a reminder to drink, they have lights everywhere. How many people actually look up at those lights while you're sitting there going, "Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have a blue moon." Anybody have that? Yeah. I don't drink myself. I stopped drinking in '74, and I'll tell you why. I was living in Philadelphia. And in Philadelphia, when you would go to the shore, you would go to Atlantic City. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but that was the shore. And I would go down there with my friends to drink. Now, I have a sweet tooth. I love chocolate. And I gravitated to Southern Comfort. You know what Southern Comfort is? Super strong, super sweet. And I was sitting there in a bar drinking double shots of Southern Comfort, chased with a Coke, no ice. This guy's shaking his head, "Ugh." Well, I'm sitting there, I drank 2 of them, and the big cowboy sits down with a big cowboy hat on and goes, "Damn, little man like you drinking all that. Think you can drink more, little man?" I said, "If you're buying," he says, "Fuck, I'm buying." Well, I drank 6 more double shots of Southern Comfort. That's 8 shots. That's 3/4 of a bottle. Now, I'm a little guy. I'm a little under 6 feet tall. I'll tell you when it's a fucking joke. And he got up and left. And I turned into liquid mercury and slowly slid off the stool until my face hit the floor. And I'm laying there saying the same thing every drunk man says when he realizes he's drunk. "I'm drunk as shit. It should be easy for me to pick up a woman now." Why do guys think they're sexy? Because they can mumble and drool at the same time. Well, I got out of the bar. I did 2 things that drunks do. I fell down, I hit one knee, hit the other knee, bounced up, turned around and watched myself do it. Then I did the stumble against the invisible wall. You ever see drunks do this?
I got you, Mikey.
And it works, I don't understand. I went into another bar, everybody's dancing, I'm trying to get women to dance with me, I'm walking up and I'm going, and they're giving me the finger, they're pushing me away. I finally wound up in the corner. I was talking to a little girl with really big hair. In the 70s, they had these beehive haircuts. And she was just staring at me. But she wasn't pushing me away. She wasn't doing it, just staring at me like she was dead. And I got depressed. I walked out of the bar. I went across the street and I stood on the end of the dock and I looked at the Atlantic Ocean. And I watched the waves bouncing up. And I was crying, nobody wants me. I'm just gonna kill myself. And I stepped off the dock. What I didn't see was 6 feet down, sticking out another dock. Had a metal railing around it. It was a Coast Guard dock. I landed on it, smashed my head on the railing. I still remember that clang sound, even just talking, clang. I woke up in jail. I had a baseball thrown out of the side of my head. My eye was black and blue. And there's 20 guys standing over me going, you all right, man? What happened to your head? And I said, I don't know. My friend bailed me out, told me that I climbed 2 10-foot chain link fences to get to the dock. I may have been drunk, but I was determined. If you want to do something, focus and never give up. So we're driving back, and he said, what do you remember? I said, well, I remember having a couple double shots with that cowboy. And then next thing I know, I was talking to a little girl with big hair. He goes, girl with big hair, you're on your knees talking to a bar stool. So I don't drink anymore. Have not had any alcohol since '74, which means I probably saved about $250,000. I should be living better than I am. So when I moved out to San Francisco, got out of San Francisco, I moved down here, I met a woman online, and we talked on the computer for 20 minutes, and then she called me, we talked for 3 days on the phone for 40 hours. And I fell in love with her because she had a southern accent. She's from South Carolina. Anybody ever been to South Carolina? Yeah, yes, right. Yeehaw is right. She's from a town of 197 people. Every one of them related directly to her. And we're pretty sure her sister married a relative, because her sister has 3 children, each with an extra finger or toe. They seem normal, but they can swim really fast. But just in circles. So we met, she came out to my house. I was living in Playa del Rey at the end of Clover Boulevard. We fell in love, went right to the bedroom. About 6 months later, she says, hey, come out to my house in Van Nuys. I drive out, there's a guy on the couch, there's a little baby girl on the floor crawling, and a boy and a girl in the corner playing with blocks. And I said, honey, who are these kids? She goes, oh, I guess I forgot to tell you, I have children. And I'm looking at the 2 doors thinking, which one's going to get me out of here faster? Because, you know, it's old saying, you don't get involved with women that have children, right? If I'm keeping you guys up, let me know. Now, you going to pee? Well, you've been holding it all that time. Okay, make sure you shake it. You know what I do? Bang it against the urinal, that gets all the urine off.
That's a good point, yeah.
Good point. Yeah, so we got married, adopted our kids. We actually sat down at dinner one night and I gave them all rings. I said, listen, I'd like to ask you 3 guys to marry me. And the kids all say, yeah. And I looked at my wife and I said, you can join us if you'd like. And she said, what the fuck, I'm here. So we got married at City Hall. Now, anybody here been married?
Yep.
Okay. Anybody here have a fancy wedding? No. We got married at City Hall in downtown. It was so depressing. The bathrooms here are nicer than City Hall downtown. I walk up to the counter, I said to the guy, hi, we'd like to get married. The guy goes, oh yeah, you'd like to get married. I said, yeah, we'd like to get married. He said, oh, we marry you. We marry lots of people all the time. Now the kids are hiding in the corner. He said, fill out the paper. I give him the paper. We go sit down. 20 minutes later, we hear, Sarah and Perry, please come in. We walk in, it's the same guy Oh, now he's wearing a judge's robe. And he starts reading from the book, and he gets a part. He says, Sarah, do you take Perry to be your lawfully wedded husband? She goes, I do. And he goes, and Perry, do you take these people to be your family? And I said, well, what the hell? I'm here, right? And he said, I now pronounce you man and children. So we got married and we moved out to South Carolina because comedy was starting to die out. You really couldn't make any money at the clubs. The Comedy Store was only paying like $25 a night. So I said, whatever. We decided to move to South Carolina, live out there, and I could go on the road. So we moved into the town where her father and her mother and her sister and her cousins and her uncles and her half-sister, everybody was there related. We lived in a triple-wide trailer, 5 bedrooms. Our bathroom had a hot tub in it. It was gigantic. Our bedroom was almost as big as this room. You could park 3 cars in there side by side. It was gigantic. So we lived there right across from her father. Now, our father was a good old boy. His name was Jimmy. He was 6'6". One day he threw a barbecue for the whole town. And he's out there, he says, hey everybody, gather around. Hey everybody, make a circle. Make a circle. Come on everybody. Bobby, put the gun down. Put the gun down, Bobby. Just move it with your foot. That's good. Everybody, my daughter Saber's back in town. She got married. And I want you to meet my new son-in-law. Come on out here. Now the guy's this big, so he's got his arm around my head. And he said, this is my new son-in-law. This is Perry. He's a real Jew boy. Wow. Everybody in the row leans forward at the same time, 150 people. And from the back row I hear somebody go, I never seen one before. Then about an hour later, a really tall guy walks up. He's looking at the top of my head. He says, you ain't got no horns. Wow. Yeah. I said, we shaved those off in the 1300s. But the people were nice. They were always bringing us food. You know, like you'd be driving for 5 minutes and I'd say, I wonder where the next traffic light is. And my wife said, it's 18 miles. We were 18 miles from a store or a traffic light. But it was cool, went on the road a lot. Then we moved back out here. And then the big thing happened. In 2004, my wife takes me in the bedroom and she says, sit on the bed. I said, we gonna fool around? She says, no. I said, why? What happened? She says, I'm pregnant. And I looked at her and said, any idea who the father is? And she said, you're the father. I said, really? At my age, I'm 53 years old. I don't have anything left inside of me except dust. She said, well, it's magic dust. So I sat there going, oh my God, I can't believe it, I'm gonna be a father. My wife walks out of the room and she got pregnant and she got bigger and bigger and bigger and she was 5'4". By the time the baby was born, she weighed 253 pounds. Wow. Yeah, she was so round if you pushed her sideways, she would eventually roll back to a standing position. But she was a great mother. She had everything she needed for it. See, one of her benefits was that she had large breasts. They were 45 triple G's. Anybody here like titties? We all like titties, and everybody looks at boobs. Even women look at breasts. Guys, women look at other women's breasts and compare theirs to, oh, mine are bigger, mine point up more, mine, oh, I like my shape, oh, mine are more separated. That's the way they are. But my wife had giant breasts. They were the size of soccer balls. They were this big and they each weighed 11 pounds. She also could do this with her vagina. See, all the guys are going, yeah! She had a built-in milking machine. I could just lay there and she'd suck it right out of me. So she gave birth to my little baby. We were in the hospital and it was a cesarean. And the doctor called me in just after they took her out. And he gave me the baby and he looks at the baby and I'm holding her and he goes, oh, I can tell it's your baby. Her ears stick out like yours do. Thanks, motherfucker. I really appreciate that. So now I've got a 17-year-old daughter. I have reproduced. Isn't that frightening? But she's pretty, and she's smart, and I love her with all my heart. And that's the bottom line. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit more of what you guys have already had. You guys like music? Have you ever heard of music? All right. So I've got some. Let me plug in my instrument. Have you ever seen one of these before? Yeah. This is called the keytar. I bought this 27 years ago. And what's great about it is it plays itself. And you can play along. One button. So this thing has been very instrumental for me. I love this thing. Anybody here play guitars? Where are the guitar players out there? Yeah, a couple people? Yeah, it's big and it's red and I play with it with my hands. Talk about the guitar. If I'm keeping you up, let me know. And thanks for coming. You just come in from a run? 90 degrees, this guy's wearing shorts and flip-flops. Now put the mask back on, motherfucker. Some people have eaten, they don't need to see that face. I've seen better faces on clocks. And he could stop a clock with that face. Actually, I know this guy, he's a good guy. That's Richie. So what I want to do to wrap up, because I think we have, what, about 34 more performers tonight? Yeah, I don't want to tie it all up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap up with something that I did on the Late Late Show. I'm going to play a song, but what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to make up the whole song based on what you guys are doing. So I have no idea what it's going to be about. I'm going to just watch you guys and we'll see what happens. It's called Louie Louie. And what you guys get to sing, you go, Louie Louie. Oh baby, we gotta go now. I said Louie Louie. Oh baby, we gotta go now. Well, I just started to sing and the guy with the chapeau did his thing. Look, he's over there, he's ready to swing. His legs are moving and he's going side to side. He's ready to take you out there for a ride. He's shaking his arm, just dangling it around. He's got his arms going up and down. She came out and she picked up an empty glass. I gotta watch what I say or someone might actually kick my ass. Louie Louie. Oh baby, we gotta go now. I said Louie Louie. Oh baby, we gotta go now. Uh-oh, taking some trash out or is that some food to go? Oh. Okay. Sometimes there's just no fucking words, you know, like what I'm not gonna argue with it. Because she would kick my ass. I would pay extra for that. You'd be worth the money. I like a tall woman because then if I don't do it right, they beat the shit out of me. That's motivation. By the way, guys, I wanted to tell you one little fact. I read about this about 3 months ago. If you want to keep the skin on your face tight like mine, I have no wrinkles. I'm 71. I'm trying to wrinkle my forehead. And if you feel my hand, all my skin is off. My face is extremely soft and subtle. And the reason is, you gotta go downtown. Do you understand what I mean by downtown? Is anybody here doesn't understand? You can leave out the town and just go down. Go down, and here's what you need. Go down until they're dry. and then they will beg you to fuck them. Plus, the juices from the vagina keeps your skin tight and smooth. Have you ever seen a wrinkled vagina? No. All right. So anyway, up there on the TV set, there's a guy who's yapping away. His name is Bill Plaschke. I don't know who he is today. Now there's 5 people, it looks like in a swastika. I don't know what they're doing or what they're doing it for. I'm trying to read the words, but they're going way too fucking fast because as I start to read that shit, it keeps flying. And it's going on past. We sing a Louie, oh baby, we gotta go now. I said a Louie, oh baby, we gotta go now. We got any birthdays here tonight? Anybody celebrating? Anybody have a birthday this year? Congratulations, I'm not singing the damn song. I hate that fucking song. They should just have everybody on the count of 3. Let's try. Count of 3, everybody just say happy birthday. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday. Does that make you feel better? Say you don't want to sing the song. So what I'm going to do now is a thing that I call karaoke. Remember, I am a trained professional. Do not try this at home. That's funny, my tongue's bleeding. I'm bleeding and you're fucking laughing. That's great. People of LA, they're known for their hearts. You just didn't bring them with you tonight. By the way, this is Jerome. He is your host. He is the producer. He does this every week for you guys. He's always here. And now this guy's going to the bathroom. She's going to the bathroom. Oh, I see what's going on. There's a glory hole between the 2 bathrooms. Enjoy yourself. Come out when you're done. Here's another quick one. You know what's good about blowjobs? You don't have to take off your pants, and you usually don't have to clean up afterwards. All right, well, that's about all I can do. I want to thank you all for being here. Please take care of yourselves. Please drive carefully, and make sure you tip the bar staff because they have to listen to this shit all night long. Ready? One more time, everybody. Oh baby, we gotta go now. Good. Oh baby, we gotta go now. My name is Perry Kurtz. Google me. There's tons at my YouTube page. Comedy and karaoke TV appearances. PERRYKURTZ. Perry Kurtz. I do it till it hurts. Thank you for being here. Have a great night.
Give it up for Perry Kurtz, ladies and gentlemen. Well done, Mr. Kurtz. Comedy legend, Perry Kurtz. Yo, we're gonna take a hot 5 minutes, get ourselves some air, get ourselves hydrated, and we're gonna be back with more Soapbox. We got Josh Donato, we got Dominica's, we got Mason, we got Rick, we got Preston, and we got Richard to see. See y'all in a couple minutes. Soapbox, peace.